Ladies, let's be real, there are moments when you meet a man and you can sense that he is drawn to you, but something is holding him back. He's interested, but he hesitates. He admires you, but he won't step up the way you expect him to. And before you assume that he's just not into you, consider this. He might actually be intimidated by you. Now, intimidation isn't about you being too much, too loud, or too demanding. It's about how your presence makes him reflect on himself, his confidence, and his ability to measure up. Some men will see a strong, beautiful, intelligent woman and feel inspired, while others will see the same qualities and feel unsure, insecure, or even afraid of rejection. Confidence is one of the most powerful qualities a woman can possess. It is not about arrogance or acting superior. It is about knowing your worth, standing firm in your beliefs, and not seeking validation from others to feel secure. When a woman walks into a room with confidence, people notice her energy speaks before she even says a word. Men in particular pick up on this immediately. Some will be drawn to it, while others may find it intimidating because confidence forces them to examine their own insecurities. A man who is not secure in himself may struggle to approach a woman who radiates self-assurance. He may question whether he is good enough for her or worry that he won't measure up to her standards. This fear is not about the woman being too much, but rather about the man feeling like he is not enough. When a man encounters a confident woman, he knows he cannot manipulate her with empty words or half-hearted efforts. She is not someone who can be won over with superficial charm. She requires effort, respect, and consistency. Confidence also means that a woman does not rely on a relationship to define her happiness. She has her own goals, her own passions, and a strong sense of self. A man who is used to women seeking validation through him may not know how to handle someone who is already fulfilled on her own. This level of self-assurance can make a man feel like he has no power over her emotions, which can be unsettling for someone who is accustomed to being in control. Another reason confidence can be intimidating is that it naturally commands respect. A confident woman does not tolerate mistreatment, dishonesty, or games. She sets clear boundaries, and if they are crossed, she does not hesitate to walk away. Some men respect this and step up, while others who may not be ready for accountability will retreat. They may see her confidence as a challenge rather than an invitation to rise to her level. Confidence also brings a level of independence that can be overwhelming for some men. When a woman is secure in herself, she does not need constant reassurance or approval. She makes decisions based on what is best for her, not out of fear of losing a man's attention. This can be unsettling for men who are used to women adjusting their behavior just to keep them interested. A confident woman is not afraid to be alone, and that alone makes her even more desirable. Independence is a quality that can be both attractive and intimidating to a man. When a woman is self-sufficient, financially stable, and emotionally secure, it challenges traditional dynamics that some men may still hold on to. A man who is used to women depending on him for validation, financial support, or direction in life may feel unsure of his role when he meets someone who already has her life together. It forces him to rethink what he brings to the table beyond just providing or protecting. Some men equate their worth with what they can offer a woman materially or emotionally. When they encounter a woman who does not need them to survive, it can cause them to feel inadequate. It is not that she does not want love, but rather that her happiness and security are not dependent on a relationship. She has built a life she enjoys, and she's looking for a partner, not a savior. This distinction can be difficult for a man who finds fulfillment in being needed rather than wanted. An independent woman is also not easily controlled. She makes decisions for herself, follows her own path, and does not sacrifice her identity for the sake of a relationship. Some men admire this strength, but others may feel intimidated by it because they fear they will not be able to influence or lead her in the way they are accustomed to. This can create insecurity in a man who equates leadership with dominance rather than mutual respect and partnership. A self-sufficient woman also has options. She is not bound to a relationship out of necessity, and that can be unsettling for a man who is used to women staying even when they are unhappy. She will not tolerate mistreatment, manipulation, or lack of effort because she knows she is capable of thriving on her own. A man who is not secure in himself may see this as a threat rather than an opportunity to be with someone who genuinely chooses him out of love rather than need. Emotional independence is another factor that can make a man feel uncertain. When a woman does not rely on a man for her emotional well-being, it removes a dynamic where he feels in control of her feelings. Some men are drawn to women who seek constant validation because it makes them feel needed. But an emotionally independent woman requires more than just surface level attention. She desires deep connection, mutual respect, and emotional maturity, which can be challenging for a man who is not ready to meet her at that level. Having high standards is one of the most powerful ways a woman can command respect, but it can also be intimidating to a man who is not ready or willing to meet them. When a woman knows what she wants, refuses to settle for less, and holds herself and others to a higher standard, it sets her apart. She is not interested in playing games, accepting excuses, or lowering her expectations just to make a man feel comfortable. This level of self-respect can be intimidating for a man who is used to getting away with minimal effort. A woman with high standards is selective, not desperate. She does not entertain just anyone because she values her time, energy, and emotional well-being. This means she does not chase, beg, or tolerate inconsistency. A man who is used to women compromising just to keep a relationship going may feel uncertain around a woman who has the strength to walk away when her standards are not met. Instead of feeling flattered, he may feel pressure to step up in ways he is not used to. One of the reasons high standards can be intimidating is that they require accountability. A woman with high expectations does not just accept words, she looks for actions. She understands that effort, consistency, and respect are non-negotiable. Some men, especially those who are used to getting by with charm and empty promises, may find this overwhelming. They realize that they cannot rely on their looks, status, or smooth talking to keep her interested. She demands follow through, and that can be a challenge for men who are not used to putting in real effort. Another factor that makes high standards intimidating is that they expose the areas where a man may fall short. Instead of allowing a man to coast in a relationship, a woman with high expectations naturally challenges him to be better. She does not settle for mediocrity because she knows what she deserves. A man who is secure in himself will rise to meet those expectations, but a man who is unsure or unwilling may withdraw because he feels inadequate. A woman with high standards also knows her worth outside of a relationship. She does not settle out of fear of being alone, and she does not tolerate mistreatment just to keep a man around. This means that any man who wants to be with her must truly bring value to her life. He cannot rely on manipulation, control, or half-hearted efforts. He must show up fully, love her deeply, and treat her with the respect she demands and deserves. Emotional maturity is a trait that separates a woman who is truly ready for love from one who is simply seeking attention. When a woman understands herself, communicates clearly, and navigates relationships with wisdom and self-control, it can be intimidating for a man who is not emotionally evolved. She is not reactive, does not engage in unnecessary drama, and does not play games. She values open and honest conversations, and she expects the same in return. A man who is used to avoiding deep discussions or hiding behind surface level connections may find himself uncomfortable in her presence. A woman who is emotionally mature does not operate from a place of fear or insecurity. She does not allow her emotions to control her decisions, nor does she manipulate others to get what she wants. Instead, she expresses her feelings with clarity and confidence. This level of self-awareness can be overwhelming for a man who is not used to dealing with his own emotions. If he is someone who runs from confrontation, shuts down when problems arise, or avoids discussing deeper topics, he may feel pressure to change in order to match her level of emotional intelligence. One of the reasons emotional maturity is intimidating is that it requires accountability. A woman who has mastered her emotions does not blame others for her feelings. She takes responsibility for her reactions and choices. She also expects the same from her partner. A man who is used to avoiding responsibility may feel exposed when faced with a woman who does not let him hide behind excuses. She calls out inconsistencies, challenges him to grow, and refuses to accept behavior that is rooted in immaturity. Another factor that makes emotional maturity challenging for some men is that it forces them to be vulnerable. A woman who is emotionally intelligent does not settle for surface-level conversations or relationships built on avoidance. She wants depth, honesty, and true connection. If a man has spent his life suppressing his emotions or avoiding serious discussions, he may feel unsure about how to navigate a relationship with someone who demands real intimacy. This does not mean she expects perfection, but she does expect effort. Men who are not emotionally ready for a strong, mature relationship may view this level of emotional depth as a threat rather than an opportunity. Instead of embracing the challenge to grow, they may withdraw or label her as too much simply because she refuses to accept anything less than honest and meaningful communication. She does not play mind games, and she does not tolerate inconsistency, which can feel like pressure to a man who is used to relationships that allow him to remain emotionally disconnected. Ambition is a powerful trait that can inspire some men while intimidating others. A woman who is driven, goal-oriented, and actively working toward her dreams stands out. She does not wait for opportunities to come to her, she creates them. She is constantly evolving, pushing herself to grow, and striving to become the best version of herself. This level of determination can be overwhelming for a man who is not equally ambitious or who feels insecure about his own achievements. Instead of seeing her as a partner to grow with, he may view her success as a reflection of his own shortcomings. A woman with ambition is focused. She does not waste time on relationships that do not align with her values or goals. She is selective about who she allows into her life because she understands that her energy is valuable. This means that a man who is used to women who revolve their lives around him may struggle with the idea of being with someone who has her own priorities. A confident woman speaks her mind and is not afraid to express her opinions, even if they challenge the status quo. She is not easily swayed by others, and she does not feel the need to agree just to keep the peace. Some men may find this intimidating because they are used to women who seek approval or go along with things to avoid conflict. A man who is not secure in himself may view her directness as difficult or confrontational when, in reality, she is simply standing firm in her truth. Another reason confidence can be intimidating is that it disrupts traditional power dynamics. Some men feel most comfortable when they are in control, when they have the upper hand, or when they are the ones leading the relationship. A confident woman does not operate from a place of submission out of fear or obligation. She chooses her partner out of genuine desire, not necessity. This means a man must earn his place in her life through respect, consistency, and mutual effort, not just by assuming a position of authority. A woman with confidence also carries herself differently. She walks into a room knowing she belongs there, she holds eye contact, and she does not shrink in the presence of others. This can be unsettling for a man who is not used to women who own their space unapologetically. She does not downplay her accomplishments, nor does she minimize herself to make others feel more secure. If a man is used to being the center of attention or having a woman cater to his ego, he may feel unsure of how to handle someone who does not need to be led. Confidence means she sets boundaries and enforces them. She does not tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or emotional games. If a man tries to test her, he will quickly realize that she is not the type to chase, beg, or accept less than what she deserves. This forces a man to either rise to meet her level or step aside. And for those who are not ready to do the work, it can be intimidating rather than inspiring. Independence is a trait that can be both attractive and intimidating depending on the man. A woman who is secure in herself, emotionally and financially independent, and capable of handling life on her own does not need a relationship, she chooses one. This shifts the dynamic from dependence to mutual partnership, which can be unsettling for a man who equates his value with being the provider or protector. Instead of relying on a man to complete her, she is looking for someone to complement her, and that requires a level of confidence that not all men possess. An independent woman makes her own decisions without waiting for permission or approval. She has her own goals, her own passions, and her own life outside of a relationship. She does not abandon her dreams to fit into someone else's world, nor does she expect a man to give up his own ambitions for her. This balance of individuality and partnership can be intimidating to a man who is used to women who revolve their lives around. He may struggle with the idea that he is not the center of her universe, but rather a valued part of it. Some men may feel threatened by independence because it challenges traditional gender roles. In many relationships, men are expected to be the decision makers, the financial providers, or the ones who take charge. But an independent woman does not need to be taken care of, is fully capable of handling her own responsibilities. This means a man cannot rely on outdated expectations to define his role in her life. Instead, he must bring emotional support, respect, and consistency, which can be a challenge for those who are not ready to meet her as an equal. Another reason independence can be intimidating is that it makes a woman harder to manipulate. She does not stay in relationships out of financial necessity, fear of being alone, or emotional dependence. If a man is inconsistent, disrespectful, or unwilling to put in effort, she has no problem walking away. This forces a man to show up with his best self rather than assuming she will tolerate anything just to keep the relationship going. A woman with independence also does not play games or engage in toxic relationship dynamics. She does not chase, beg, or compromise her self-respect for love. This means a man has to be secure in himself. To be with her, he must bring real value to the relationship, not just a sense of control or dominance. Instead of being intimidated, the right man will see her independence as an asset and will step up to match her strength rather than feeling threatened by it. Ladies, being intimidating is not a bad thing. It means you are walking in your power, and not every man is built for that. The right one won't be scared away. He will be inspired to rise to the occasion. So never dim your light to make someone else feel comfortable. The right man will see your strength, respect it, and know exactly how to handle a woman like you.